Welcome back to Top 5 Auto Repairs. Today's topic, I'm going to tell you guys why your battery light is on. If your battery light is on and you're experiencing low power, engine misfire, poor engine performance, no start, hard start, I'm going to tell you guys why. In most cases, you're probably going to have a bad alternator. But before you replace the alternator, there are some things you should check. Let's begin. First, make sure the alternator fuse is not blown. If the alternator fuse is blown, go ahead and replace it. Also, make sure to replace the alternator fuse with the same amperage. Next, take your multimeter and set to voltage. You're going to check battery voltage. A good battery should be 12.6. If battery is less than 12.6, there's a good chance your battery is weak and it's time to replace it. Also, check for excessive corrosion on the battery. If there is excessive corrosion, make sure to clean it up. Also, make sure the battery terminals are not loose. If battery terminal is loose, go ahead and tighten it up. Next, check the age of the battery. If you had the battery for more than 5 years, it is time to replace it. Next, check all the connections on the alternator. Make sure none of the connections are loose. Next, check the alternator wire going from the alternator to the battery positive terminal. The voltage should be about the same. You can also conduct an ohm test this way as well. Next, make sure your alternator belt or serpentine belt is not missing or loose. Next, start your vehicle and check voltage. A good alternator should produce at least 13.2 to 13.5 volts and no more than 14.5 volts. As you can see, this alternator is bad and it is rapidly draining the battery. So it is time to replace the alternator with a new one or a rebuilt alternator. Replacing the alternator is very simple. You just need to disconnect the wiring harness, make sure to loosen the tensioner bolt, and also make sure to remove the mounting bolt as well. If you have a hard time removing your alternator and it feels like it is stuck, you can always use a pry bar and try to pry it out that way. Now the alternator is out, make sure to compare the old alternator with the new alternator. So I picked up an alternator from a local junkyard. As you can see, these two alternators are the same. If you have a hard time installing that alternator, it's because that bushing on the alternator is sticking out too much. So what you want to do is you want to take your alternator bolt or mounting bolt and you want to push that bushing outward. By pushing it outward, it will make installation a lot easier. Now it is time to install that new alternator. Start your engine up and check the charging system voltage. Again, voltage should be about 13.2 to 13.5 and no more than 14.5 volts. I hope you found that video useful. As always, thank you for watching and subscribe to Top 5 Auto Repairs.